Let me tell y'all a little bit about myself. My name is Sam, and I'm from Iran, a country in the Middle East. And in 1979, Iran had a revolution where Islamic extremists took over the government. And my family was atheists, so we fled Iran to escape from the religious extremists. But we didn't do a very good job because we ended up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, home of the Christian Coalition. And there's some racist people down there. And if you're brown, they'll just be racist right to your face. I was on a train one day, and a lady right next to me just goes, "Hey, you're not going to hijack this train, are you?" And I had to say, what kind of dumbass terrorist hijacks a train? Where the hell am I going to take it? If you hijack a bus or a plane, you can take it wherever you want. But if you hijack a train, you have to stay on the track. Does she think I'm going to call the police and be like, "I've hijacked the train. I have 40 hostages. If you do not meet my demands by 5 o'clock, I'm not stopping at Times Square. Everyone's going to have to catch a cab. Fuck all y'all. Tell your boss you're going to be late." But one time I got into a fight with a redneck. I was at a bar, and I guess I stepped on his shoe, and the dude tried to fight me. And he was there with his girlfriend, so he obviously was trying to impress her. And I always promised myself that if I got in that situation, I would always apologize and back down. Because it's dumb to fight random people. You don't know who that person is. He could be like an MMA fighter, or he could be Spider-Man and not be telling anybody. I don't know who he is. So my plan was to say, "I really apologize, sir. I shouldn't have stepped on your foot. I'm actually just going to leave the bar right now." But instead what came out was, "I'm going to go murder your mother." So next thing you know, I'm in the middle of a fight. But here's the surprising thing, and I'm not trying to brag, but I was winning. I was winning the fight. I was pounding his head against the bar. I was feeling great. And the one thing that offended me was his girlfriend kept yelling, "Terry, stop! Terry, stop!" And I wanted to be like, "Hey, Terry's no longer in control of the situation. You should be asking me to stop. I don't appreciate your biased commentary, man. You're like a female Joe Rogan, except you have no idea what's going on in this fight." And then before anything else happened, the big black bouncer came and broke us up, and he said, "Brothers, we need to stop fighting each other," which is not what you want to hear when you're winning. But I was a little upset because I can understand why a black guy would say that, because black on black crime is a horrible thing and it needs to stop. But I didn't feel like it applied to me because I'm a Middle Eastern guy from Iran, and that guy's from a suburb of Portsmouth, Virginia, known as Walmartistan, where apparently people have very sensitive shoes. We're natural enemies. Please let me beat him up, sir. But you know what's kind of weird is even though my dad is Middle Eastern, he's become kind of like a right-wing Republican since we've been in America. He's always talking about the good old days. Like we were at dinner the other night and he was like, "Let me tell you how much better America was in the 50s. We had real leadership in this country. Eisenhower was president, gas was a nickel a gallon. You could take your girl to a nice drive-in movie and see a nice, good, wholesome movie with Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin. We didn't have any of these gangster rappers or welfare bums or hair metal bands." And I was like, "Dad, you were born in a village in Iran. You didn't come to America until the 90s. How do you know what America was like in the 50s? And he's like, "Oh, I saw the movie Grease. They look like they were enjoying themselves." But I'm personally not into that right-wing Republican shit at all. I remember last week when the Supreme Court upheld the healthcare bill. This dude puts on his Facebook page, "The founding fathers would be rolling in their graves if they knew the government was paying for healthcare." And first of all, if you lived 200 years ago and you owned slaves, why do we care what you think anymore? And secondly, I think if the founding fathers knew the government was paying for healthcare, they'd be like, "What the fuck is healthcare?" I had a cavity in my tooth and I went to the dentist, and now my teeth are made out of wood. The government definitely shouldn't pay for that. But one thing that I'm glad that America's become more liberal about is gay rights. And that's just my personal opinion. And I think that no matter what you think about gay rights or what you think about gay marriage, you should admire the homosexual community's courage. Because I think gay people have a lot of courage because it takes a certain type of guy to let another guy fuck him in the ass. And they have a parade about it in the middle of New York City. I got my dick sucked by a fat girl, and I didn't tell anybody for 10 years. So I admire them. And what's weird is a lot of straight guys talk gay to sound tough nowadays. I saw two guys about to get into a fight, and one guy got so mad at the other guy, he was like, "Hey man, you can suck my dick." And I don't like it when guys say that to each other in public like that, because I'm a guy and I like to have my dick sucked. So I wish these other guys wouldn't spread this false propaganda that sucking dick is a degrading thing, like it's punishment for being an asshole. Guys should be acting like sucking dick is a positive thing, like it's a reward for good behavior. We should be saying things like, "Oh hey Jennifer, I saw some of those paintings that you posted on Facebook the other day. I'm really impressed. I had no idea you were such an amazingly talented artist. You know what? You can suck my dick." That would be a way better use of that phrase. Speaking of dicks, I think one of the things girls don't understand about men is how hard it is to be a man, because having a dick is like having a drunk maniac following you around with a gun all day, just making you do shit that you know you shouldn't be doing. Like, you'll be at the bar like, "You know what? I don't think $25 is a good amount to be spending on a shot of tequila. That's way too much." And your dick will be like, "I don't give a fuck. Buy this bitch a drink right now. I'm trying to go swimming tonight." And you'll be like, "Look, I don't even think she likes me. I think she's just using me for the alcohol." And they'll be like, "Yeah, you're probably right. She probably is. But I'll put it to you like this. If we go home alone tonight and you touch me, I'm going to get hard at a job interview and ruin your life. If I go, you got it. Well, I'm taking this whole motherfucker down with me." And you're like, "Okay, sir, whatever you say." Speaking of people that can't control themselves, I was listening to an interview with the rapper DMX on Hot 97 the other day. They know who DMX is. And DMX was talking about the time that he got arrested for impersonating a police officer. And what DMX did is he called a police car and put sirens on it, and he just drove around arresting anybody that made him mad. And one guy cut DMX off in traffic, so DMX pulled him over and pulled him out of his truck and just beat the shit out of him. But this is how DMX defended himself in the interview. This is what he said. I swear to God, this is what he said. He said, "I beat the shit out of the guy because he disrespected my authority. Because what if I'd been a real police officer?" And I think that's a pretty good argument, because you're supposed to listen to the cops, right? But I think that guy's got a good argument too. I think that guy's argument would be, "I didn't cooperate with the officer because it was obviously fucking DMX. I've heard his CDs. There's no way they got that guy to be a cop. Also, I've never seen a cop with an AK-47 and a cocaine mustache. I'm not giving him my ID." Someone should tell DMX that being a police officer isn't like being a vampire, where if you get arrested enough times, you become one, and then you can arrest other people. Speaking of ghosts and monsters and shit, they're making a Ghostbusters 3, and Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies, but I'm not going to watch Ghostbusters 3 because I know they're going to do some stupid shit, just so that it makes sense that they're having another Ghostbusters movie. Here's why. I remember in Ghostbusters 2, the Ghostbusters run into the mayor of New York's office, and they're like, "Hey, ghosts are about to invade New York, we need to do something." And the mayor's like, "There's no such thing as ghosts. Get out of my office before I have you arrested." Now that's normally the right answer to give in that situation, but in the movie, the mayor and everyone else in his office are forgetting that 5 years earlier, a shit ton of ghosts and monsters invaded New York. In the movie Ghostbusters 1, they're forgetting that a 20-story tall marshmallow man was crushing cars and terrorizing the population. I think if you want to be the mayor of New York, you should have at least a rudimentary knowledge of the history of New York. Because the ghost invasion of Ghostbusters 1 was their 9/11 in Ghostbusters universe. I get a lot of, speaking looking like this, I get a lot of 9/11 jokes. It's true, I'm not mad. Not really my fault, but one time I brought a girl home. Swear to God, I brought a girl home, and everything was good to go, except for she just had one concern. She was worried that I might have been one of the 9/11 terrorists. Now, I'm not saying that she thought I might support terrorism or that I'm planning a copycat attack. She thought I actually might have been one of the guys that did 9/11. So I did explain to her what 9/11 was and how it happened and how nobody could have survived that whole thing. And then after all that, she was like, okay, well, just checking. And I was thinking, how cool would that be if I actually had been one of the 9/11 terrorists and I had survived all that, and somehow I end up in the East Village of New York and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I'll get an apartment with a bunch of stoners and start a stand-up comedy career. Like my fellow terrorists are calling me, it's like, Sam, we need you at the airport. This is an important operation. Yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. But first I gotta go to Gotham Comedy Club. I got some great jokes about my dick I gotta try out. Here's my impression of a 9/11 terrorist who becomes a stand-up comedian. Don't be offended, please. Hey guys, what's the deal with airline food? I mean, it's so disgusting, right? I was on a flight the other day, I got a chicken sandwich. The chicken was so hard, it didn't instantly disintegrate when I crashed the plane into the World Trade Center. I apologize to all the Republicans in the audience. But I do have a lot of stupid things because of my penis. One of the dumbest things I've ever done was I brought a girl home when I was tripping on mushrooms. And when you're tripping on mushrooms, everything you see keeps changing. So we're doing it, and I'm enjoying it. And she says, hey, you want to do the doggy style? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So I turned her over, and I started doing the doggy style, but I noticed that her entire back is a tattoo of a man's face. And the guy is not happy in the picture. He's like frowning. And I'm looking at the guy while I'm doing it. And finally I asked, I'm like, who's that guy? She's like, oh, it's my dad, he's dead. Now, when you're tripping on mushrooms, like I said, everything's changing. So I felt like his expression was changing too. Like at first his expression was like, hey, why are you fucking my daughter, you asshole? But then later as it went on, his expression changed too. Yeah, you're right, I didn't do a very good job of raising your daughter, I apologize. And then finally at the end it was, you're not gonna come on my face, are you? And I said, I have to, sir, this is what I do. Okay, thanks a lot for having me, guys. Have a great night. I'm really enjoying the show.